What do you think about short form stuff like TikTok?
I think TikTok is probably the most interesting platform right now because for a while you could very reliably be like, there's no reason for a certain type of thing to be on a platform. So what I mean by that is like you'll see a video and you'll be like, oh, this is clearly this person actually cares about this.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Twitter, you can be like, oh wow, this person cares about this. But the problem is, clout is an incentive at this point, right? Like,
sure.
If you here's how I know that that's true. Someone can tweet something completely false, and it's wrong, and they've been discredited and disproved. And how many times do you think they go back and they delete that tweet?
Oh, none.
Never.
Yeah,
They'll never delete that. Why? Why?
Because
They know
it's
they're
got
wrong.
so many likes, and
That's
that
'cause it's got
number looks
likes.
really
Yeah.
good.
Exactly.
And everyone's going to forget about it.
Especially when
That's
it's
it.
a six-figure number, it's like,
And
that looks real nice.
And that number makes you feel good. It makes you feel validated. So
Dopamine
that's an incentive, right?
Yeah.
So
That
now
is
it's not
my
just
lie.
money anymore. So it's not just money anymore, right?
Yeah.
So now every platform has that incentive built into it because every platform gives you that feedback from everyone else. So the thing that I like about TikTok is TikTok's no different. TikTok has that. But Twitter likes to pretend that's not there. So everyone on Twitter really is just fronting. Like I realized like this last year, I looked at all of my friends. I'm like, who are the smartest people I know from my whole life? Like from my high school, whatever. People who are working in government, in industry, whatever. Like the smartest people that I know and I trust. I looked at all of them. I'm like, none of them use Twitter. And so then I looked at Twitter and I'm like, this person says, this expert says. I'm like, these people actually are clowns. I don't believe a single one of them because you know what? If you were good at your job and your job doesn't involve Twitter or being forward facing in that way, you wouldn't be on Twitter. There's no good mathematicians on Twitter. There's no good engineers on Twitter. All the the really, really, really good ones are working.
They're
other
working.
engineers.
They're not sitting there.
Fair.
So like at a certain point, I was just like, I'm just not listening to anybody on Twitter. Now TikTok to me is different because TikTok, everyone knows they're there for clout. Everyone is acting like they're there for clout, and at the very least, there's no pretense. There's no one there being like, "Hey, I just want to step up and say something. This really, I think, is an important thing." When you really look at it, you're like, "Is this an important thing, or are you chasing clout?" Right? You're never quite sure on other platforms, but TikTok is like, I know what you want. I'm trying to get as many views on this damn thing as I want, and that's my sole goal. I'm like, okay, at least we can start at that baseline level.
Yeah,
we're all
where
on the
like
same page.
everyone's got the
No one's
same
trying to
respect
trick
for each other.
Exactly. Like nobody's trying to be like, oh, this is something I really. It's like, no. I know if you're on TikTok, you're here for clout.
It's like all walking into a room and just like the cloud auditions, and everyone looks at each other and they're like,
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Everyone knows.
Well, I mean, it's so easy to get it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like you have the most
that's
opportunity to get big on TikTok.
That's one of the interesting
anywhere.
things about TikTok too. Is just the way that the algorithm works or something.
Yes.
It just feels like followers can be gained very, very.
What I like about
easily.
the philosophy of it is that it's a platform for people designed to be like, the mindset when I show up on TikTok is, all right, show me something that will make me laugh, or show me something that will entertain me, right? Mm-hmm. Which means that I'm going into it, I open that app up open-minded to looking at new things, whereas it's so easy at a certain point on YouTube, even like, for your music tastes on Twitch, you'll see the thing that you like, and then that's it. That's as far as you go.
Because it also gives you the option.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you can see the title and the thumbnail, and like that's where the war is. Mm-hmm. But on TikTok, the war is just
getting attention. Yes, the war is the attention.
There is
itself.
a little bit of like a retention aspect though, where it's like but it's weird though because it kind of changes on what that is. Like you could do something where it's like you're silent and like looking at the camera and then say something goofy at the end, and then that would, for some reason, whatever is in the background or whatever face you're making would capture someone's attention.
Look, right? Let's be honest. How you look.
Very true. And one of the interesting things I find about TikTok, though, is that it seems like a lot of different types of content can succeed more so than I think is as available on other platforms. Like I've seen a lot of people who make like sort of, and it sometimes feels like heresy in some ways, but there are people out there that like doing film-ic kind of things vertically.
There's a couple of people who are doing like film stuff, like short films. In fact, like I think there's more interesting short film stuff happening on TikTok than there is anywhere else right now.
Yeah,
I really like this guy, American Baron. Do you know him?
American Baron's fantastic.
There's another guy, Last Man Stanley. He makes some stuff. And another woman, I think Scorpio Sierra, I believe, is another person that those three people are.
Because the
what
fight is the content itself, right? Like you have to hold someone's attention the first 4 seconds with a image, a line of dialogue, a sound, something.
Yeah.
Right? And also the fact that TikTok forces that sound on by default means that you also have that to work with as something to like grab someone's attention. So I think actually is as far as all the platforms go, TikTok's the only one where I'm like, it's interesting to me, and I see talent on there developing and finding an audience in a way that I don't see in other places. I see what the talent that's finding audiences in other places are people talented at figuring out how to game a system. And it's all gaming a system. To be fair, it's all gaming a system. Right. But the system that you're gaming on TikTok is individual attention. It's at that level, as opposed to trying to figure out what it is about. Oh, is YouTube, was it 15 minutes? Like,
does that give you like hope then in some aspects? Because it sounds like you're generally disappointed with like the way that like YouTube and that system has gone. So with TikTok, I
don't know where it goes, because you gotta remember when we started YouTube, nobody who started on YouTube of my era grew up with YouTube. We grew up with movies. We grew up with TV shows. So that was what we were thinking about. That's like when we look at our stuff, it's like, what is that? That's filmmaking. That's trying to make movies, right? That's trying to make short films.
Yeah.
But then there was a point where it switched, where people then went from the people that I was meeting who were like, oh, I love your channel, because they grew up watching YouTubers, and so then they wanted to be YouTubers.
Three of us right here.
Right? So like, there's a point where that switches, and so increasingly I feel more like a dinosaur, because I'm like, but I did, it's like, cool, you're big on YouTube. It's like, yeah, but that was never my goal. My goal was to make movies.
Yeah. So it's like the desire keeps getting almost filtered and like diluted.
It's whatever's around. It's whatever you're cursed to grow up with, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.